Hosting or presenting content in a meeting can be intimidating, so we created this video to help you feel more confident with Microsoft Teams meetings. Being a great meeting host involves a little bit of planning, so before we go into the meeting space, we're going to open our meeting placeholder and choose meeting options so we can manage how we want our attendees to communicate in the meeting space. First, decide, do you want your attendees to be able to speak up in the meeting? If you want all questions and all comments to be directed to you in writing, use this toggle to disable the attendee microphones. Now, for incoming questions and comments, you can choose to keep your chat on as always, or you can choose to enable the Q&A feature. This allows you to moderate and manage the incoming questions and comments. When you toggle Q&A on, we recommend disabling your chat to make sure all questions and comments come to you via the Q&A pane. After turning on Q&A, head over to the Q&A settings in the placeholder so that you can manage attendee permissions, like allowing them to ask questions, post replies to questions, and post anonymously. From here, you can also turn on moderation. This is going to allow you and other users that you've assigned as co-organizers to view the incoming questions and choose if they will be published to all attendees or dismissed. Don't forget to save any changes that you've made. Now that we've managed how attendees will communicate, let's add some interactive elements to the meeting. We're going to explore 2 ways to get interactive and engaged in meetings using whiteboards and polls. Both applications can be set up ahead of the meeting or ad hoc while the meeting is in progress. I'm going to set them up ahead of time, so from the open placeholder, I'm going to select the Meeting Whiteboard tab. And now I can use the Games templates to add an icebreaker game to my whiteboard. You can customize the title and update the description to provide some direction for the participants, as well as add some content to the elements on the board if needed. Your internal colleagues will have access to this whiteboard before the meeting begins, so they can also go in and begin filling out the template before the meeting even starts. External meeting participants will be able to access the whiteboard once the meeting has begun. When the meeting begins, you can use the share option here to launch your whiteboard and begin your icebreaker. As mentioned, another way to get interactive in your meeting is by using the Polls application. This app is not a standard app available in the meeting space, so we're going to go ahead and add it to the meeting placeholder ahead of our meeting by selecting the plus sign and choosing Polls. You can insert polls into the meeting while it's in progress as well by selecting the app's icon and locating the Polls app. Now you can choose to browse through some suggested polls created by Microsoft, or use this icon to locate and reuse a poll that you've used recently. You can also create a new poll from scratch using the New Poll button, which is what we're going to do today. As you see, you have some different options for poll question types available, including the word cloud option. You can also use the quiz option, which allows you to insert a self-grading quiz to assess your attendees' comprehension of the topic that you're presenting about. This is helpful because it's going to indicate your audience's level of understanding, which will help you determine if you're okay to move ahead in your presentation, or maybe it's time to review some key elements before moving forward. Polls can be used in many ways, so get creative. Try using them as icebreakers, to gather inputs for some upcoming meetings, test knowledge, gain insights, have some fun, and more. We're going to use polls as a fun break time activity by inserting some trivia into our meeting. You can add more than one poll question if needed, as well as mix and match your preferred question types to create the perfect poll. By default, meeting polls are anonymous and results will appear in real time. Your poll settings are here if you'd like to update any of your default settings. We're going to save our poll as a draft, which we can then launch when our meeting begins, but you could launch a poll immediately if you wanted to gather some inputs before your meeting even starts. Only your internal colleagues will be alerted to the poll prior to the meeting starting. If you did create your polls ahead of time, when you are in the meeting space, you're going to see this poll icon. Select it to open the polls pane and launch your poll or quiz in the meeting space when you're ready. Along the bottom of the polls pane, you also have the ability to launch instant polls, where you don't write the question to your audience, rather you verbally ask your question and select the voting method for the icons that appear for the attendees to use in your meeting. Okay, we are all set and ready to go, so let's jump into our meeting space. After joining, I'm going to turn on Speakers Coach, which is going to provide some live insights and suggestions to help me as I present content. These suggestions are going to appear as banners in the meeting, and they are only visible to me. After the meeting, I'm also going to receive a private summary of the Speakers Coach insights. From here, I can review the feedback as well as use this toggle to automatically turn on Speaker Coach for all upcoming meetings. Now that my meeting has started, it's time to present some content, so I have a few different options to explore. First, decide if you'd like to share only your content or if you want to appear alongside your content. If you do want to appear with the shared content, Teams offers a few different presenter modes, so you can choose exactly how your content and video feed appear alongside one another. Here you have the standard option, which places you on top of your shared content. You can select side by side, where you remain in your video feed beside the shared content. Or choose the reporter style that places your shared content just over your shoulder as if you're the anchor in a newsroom. You can also update the background that appears behind you if you've selected the side-by-side or reporter option. Now, after selecting your presenter mode, choose if you're going to share your screen or a specific window that you have open. It's always best practice to share a specific window, which allows you to open other applications and other windows in private, concealed away from your audience. They will continue to see the selected window only. If you want or need to share your entire screen, we recommend closing or concealing all confidential or sensitive information prior to the start of your meeting to prevent any security breaches or uncomfortable moments while you're presenting. After you've selected your preferred content to share, this window is going to appear, allowing you to manage and review what your audience is seeing and make any adjustments that you may prefer. You can minimize this window after making those adjustments. Some other options when sharing content to help you improve your presentation include the ability to share using PowerPoint Live, which is a personal favorite of mine. This will share with presenter mode on, allowing you to access any speaker's notes that you have made added to the PowerPoint presentation. Don't worry, your audience only sees what's in this red box, so these notes are only visible to you. If you don't want to see the notes, you can always select the ellipsis and choose Hide Presenter View to hide these notes. In PowerPoint Live, you can also see all upcoming slides here and select one to jump to it if needed. You can also access a grid view of slides to see all of the presentation slides together, divided by section to help you locate a specific slide that you may need to jump to. In PowerPoint Live, you also have access to a laser pointer, a pen, a highlighter, and an eraser to help you annotate or draw attention to specific areas of the slide. Hey look, if you didn't turn on your Speakers Coach before, you can turn it on at the click of a button right here. Along the top, you have some important icons. Choose Layout to access the Standout Presenter mode to appear on top of your presented content. Currently, this is the only presenter mode that's available when sharing using PowerPoint Live. When building your presentation in PowerPoint, you can insert a Cameo placeholder, which allows you to build your video feed into the design of your slide by adding a video feed placeholder to the slide. You can choose the shape and location of your feed and place it on each individual slide to work with the design. When sharing in PowerPoint Live, you can activate your video feed into those Cameo placeholders here. Let us know in the comments if you want to learn more about creating dynamic PowerPoint presentations using the Cameo tool. When sharing using PowerPoint Live, you can use the pop-out button to pop the presentation out of the meeting space onto its own independent screen, allowing you to view your audience as you present the content. It is important to note that when you are sharing with PowerPoint Live, your audience can take advantage of private viewing. This means they can move forward or back in the presentation slide at their leisure without impacting your presentation and what others are seeing. You can disable this feature by selecting the private view icon here, so all attendees will remain on the same slide with you as you move through your presentation. Finally, a new way of presenting Excel spreadsheets has landed in Teams. Using Excel Live, you can share a workbook with your team and collaborate and edit the spreadsheet together in real time. All changes made by meeting participants are going to be saved back to the original Excel workbook. In Excel Live, attendees are free to edit on any sheet of the workbook. You can pop the Excel Live window out if needed to view all audience members while you're collaborating in the workbook. Here are some final tips to help you improve your Teams meeting host abilities. Add an agenda to all meeting invites and use it to find out if anyone joining requires any specific accessibility tools to be turned on. For example, do you need to add a sign language or language interpreter to your meeting? Teams offers some built-in tools to help you make your meetings more accessible. Let us know in the comments if you want to learn more about these amazing accessibility or translation tools. Remember, you can manage individual attendees from the people pane of the meeting. You can also pin and spotlight specific users to update or manage your personal viewing experience or the experience of all attendees. Be mindful of people's calendars, so always watch that timer in the meeting space and try to wrap up your meeting when Teams gives you that 5-minute warning. We hope you learned a few tips on how to improve your presentation skills using the tools built into Microsoft Teams meetings. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.